So to close out the show this week, we did get a listener question in. This came to us from Manny in California. Wanted to appreciate Manny for sending the question in. Says, love the podcast. My question for you guys, would it be better to increase my 401k contributions or invest on my own? I've been investing in my 401k for the past 10 years. I currently contribute 6%. My employer matches at 3.5%. I've been also investing over the past year at $500 a month. My only debt is my mortgage and car payments. Hope to hear from you soon. Manny, thank you so much for writing into the show. And if you've got questions for us, by the way, check your balances at outlook.com. And since we're videotaping this, I can show it. This is the Check Your Balances mug that we will send you if you would like one for writing into the show while we've still got them around. So shoot us an email if you've got questions like Manny did. Dan, what's your take?
First, great job, Manny, on contributing to your 401k, starting to save elsewhere, and taking on only productive debt. Great work. I think the answer is it depends. Always it depends. But
how dare you, Dan?
I'm sorry. I'm really great at parties. If I had to pick a side, I think what I would make sure that we focused on is that building assets in more than one place is important. Again, flexibility. If everything you're saving is in your 401k, you're going to have limited access to that money. It's all going to come out as taxable income down the road. So I think the ability to save outside of a 401k is very important in terms of flexibility. You can use that money over shorter time periods if needed, whether that be to buy a house, make major repairs, start a business, pay for something. Flexibility in investments. You can choose to invest in individual stocks, funds that aren't available in your 401k, private companies, whatever it may be for you, and tax diversification. So instead of putting that aside and having it come out at ordinary tax rates, whatever that might be down the road, you have the potential to pull money out at more favorable tax rates if you hold them over longer periods of time. So while I can't tell you exactly what's right for you, I would emphasize that it is important to save in different areas and think that saving in a regular taxable brokerage account is very important.
I agree. I think the flexibility is at a premium. I would also question whether or not there's a Roth option inside the 401k. If you've got the ability to do a Roth 401k, that means you're putting money away that's taxed at today's rates, will be tax-free into the future. I don't think that I would do all of your free cash flow into that. I do think you should continue to build, as Dan said, some outside taxable assets. But if you've got the Roth option, I would maybe use that for increased contributions so that it's not all pre-tax money and you're continuing to build that tax diversification. We don't know this plan or the details there, but if you've got a Roth 401k option available to you, starting to add some of your funds to that, I think is a good thing that would ultimately help you down the road in avoiding required minimum distributions and all sorts of stuff that will at some point be an issue for you.
The other thing you should do is just think about the value of the tax deduction today. Where are you in your income trajectory over time? Do you think that being able to save money pre-tax is more valuable today than it might be in the future? Or can you absorb a little bit of extra tax cost today in exchange for the flexibility that we're talking about? That's important too. I think that's one of the biggest values of saving into a 401k is just how much money you can get in there pre-tax. But you should be doing it for a reason and not by default.
Yeah, I also just love the regular nature of it. For somebody that's got that savings going on that doesn't have to think about it, it's so powerful. And I think we, at least as planners, we want to try and optimize some of this stuff. But anything you can put on autopilot, in my opinion, is going to be the strongest form of savings. So I do put a premium on it just because of that you're putting it on autopilot. Now, Manny sounds like he's being pretty disciplined already, so he is doing a great job. He's already saving outside of that plan. But for so many folks that are struggling with savings, the fact that it's automatic and that they never see that money hit their paycheck, I think that tends to help them from a behavioral standpoint if they're struggling with overspending or anything like that.
And that recurring nature, especially in markets like we're in now, is kind of exciting because every paycheck, you know that a certain amount of money went into whatever funds you have and you're buying at lower prices today. So that's like you're taking a positive action by design, which is always great.
All right. Well, let's wrap up there. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in this week. The email address for us, again, is checkyourbalances@outlook.com. If we can actually figure out how to post this to YouTube, we will include the link to our YouTube channel in the show notes on this episode. But it's probably going to be a learning curve for us. We are going to be self-editing this stuff, and it probably won't look as good as professionally produced podcasts, at least for a little while.
Great. Well, be sure to send your questions over. We look forward to catching you all next week on another rendition of Check Your Balances. Until next time.